What happens when a rising political star armed with cold, hard facts goes head-to-head with a Hollywood legend who believes emotions rule the world? The answer left America speechless, and one of them utterly destroyed. The moment Karoline Leavitt stepped onto the stage, the air in the room shifted, like a predator entering the arena, and Meryl Streep didn't even realize she was the prey. The studio audience held their collective breath as the cameras began rolling, the tension so thick it could be cut with a knife. This wasn't just another political debate. This was a cultural watershed moment, a brutal confrontation that would expose the deep fault lines running through American society. The stage was set for an epic battle between two towering figures who represented diametrically opposed visions for the country's future. On one side, Karoline Leavitt, the 27-year-old conservative wunderkind whose meteoric rise from small-town political operative to White House press secretary had stunned the establishment. Dressed in a power magenta suit that radiated unshakable confidence, she carried herself with the lethal precision of a special forces operative entering hostile territory. Every calculated movement, every subtle glance conveyed one unmistakable message. She had come to wage war. Opposite her sat Meryl Streep, the legendary actress and undisputed queen of liberal Hollywood, her pristine white silk outfit glowing under the studio lights like a halo. The contrast couldn't have been more striking. Leavitt's aggressive, data-driven approach versus Streep's refined, emotionally charged idealism. The air crackled with electricity, the kind of charged atmosphere that precedes historic moments. America was about to witness not just a debate, but a fundamental clash of civilizations. When veteran moderator John Carter posed his first question, the entire nation leaned forward in anticipation. "Miss Streep," he began, his voice dripping. With gravitas, as one of Hollywood's most respected voices, how do you believe the entertainment industry should respond to the current administration's policies? What followed was nothing short of a masterclass in emotional oratory. Streep's voice trembling with carefully measured passion as she wove a tapestry of human suffering. She spoke of immigrant children crying in detention centers, of journalists living in fear of retaliation, of an America that had abandoned its moral compass. Her performance was flawless, every pause, every choked-back tear perfectly timed to maximize impact. The liberal half of the audience erupted in rapturous applause, some openly weeping, as if witnessing a Shakespearean tragedy unfold before their eyes. For a brief, shining moment, it seemed Streep had already won, her emotional appeal so powerful it threatened to overwhelm reason itself. But then the camera cut to Karoline Leavitt, and the smirk playing at the corners of her lips made it clear. The real battle was just beginning. Leavitt's response wasn't merely a rebuttal, it was a surgical strike designed to dismantle Streep's entire argument at its foundations. Allowing a beat of silence to emphasize her control of the moment, she began in a voice so calm it was almost unnerving. "Miss Streep's story is certainly moving," she conceded, before delivering the killing blow. "But running a country requires more than compelling narratives. It requires results." What followed was a relentless barrage of cold, hard facts delivered with machine-like precision. Violent crime plummeting by 20% in border communities, over 500,000 blue-collar jobs saved through immigration reforms, a 15% funding increase for legal immigrant services. Each statistic landed like a sledgehammer blow, systematically demolishing Streep's emotional appeals. "Can you cite one specific policy that's actually harmed the families you reference?" Leavitt challenged, her steely gaze never wavering. "Or does Hollywood prefer fiction to reality?" The conservative section of the audience erupted in a deafening roar, their thunderous applause shaking the studio walls. Streep, for perhaps the first time in her illustrious career, looked genuinely shaken, her famous composure showing its first visible cracks. What unfolded next was nothing short of a political execution in slow motion. Every time Streep reached for another emotional argument. "What about basic human decency?" Leavitt countered with another devastating volley of empirical evidence. when Streep weakly accused the administration of suppressing press freedoms. Leavitt annihilated the claim by citing a 20% surge in independent media licenses under the current government. "If we're silencing journalists," she fired back, her voice dripping with sarcasm, "why are there more independent news outlets operating today than at any point in the past decade?" Streep floundered visibly, her responses growing increasingly vague and repetitive, her legendary eloquence deserting her under Leavitt's relentless assault. The liberal audience, once so vocal, fell into a stunned, horrified silence, while the conservative side exploded in triumphant jubilation, their chants of "facts don't care about feelings" echoing through the studio like a war cry. By the final segment, the outcome was inevitable. A visibly shaken Streep, her voice cracking with barely suppressed fury, resorted to shouting about moral bankruptcy and the death of American values. Leavitt, still the picture of icy composure, delivered the coup de grace. "You invoke compassion, yet this administration has processed 1.8 million asylum applications. Where's your evidence to the contrary, Miss Streep? Or does Hollywood only deal in fairy tales?" The studio erupted in pandemonium. MAGA supporters leapt to their feet, some literally jumping for joy, their roars of approval shaking the foundation of the building. Streep, her face flushed with humiliation, her designer outfit now disheveled, made a hasty retreat from the stage, a deposed monarch fleeing a revolution. The image of her exit, captured in high definition, would become an instant political meme, symbolizing the collapse of liberal Hollywood's influence in the Trump era. The aftermath was even more explosive than the debate itself. Within minutes, "Leavitt annihilates Streep" was trending globally, amassing over 2 million tweets in under an hour. Conservative media outlets declared Leavitt the most dangerous woman in Washington, while liberal pundits scrambled to dismiss the event as a cheap ambush. Leavitt, cool as ever, gave a brief press conference where she delivered the line that would define the moment. "I didn't come here to act. I came here to tell the truth." Meanwhile, Streep vanished from public view, her team releasing a terse statement about standing by her convictions, political speak for licking her wounds in private. The internet, never merciful, immediately began circulating side-by-side comparisons, Leavitt's triumphant, unshakable demeanor versus Streep's humiliated, defeated posture. The message was clear. In the new America, data defeats drama every time. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Was this a long overdue reckoning for out-of-touch elites, or a chilling sign of America's declining empathy? The comments section below is already on fire. Join the debate and make your voice heard. This wasn't just a political showdown. It was a seismic shift in our cultural landscape. And trust us, you'll want to hit that subscribe button because the fallout from this explosion is just beginning. The next battle lines are being drawn right now. Which side will you be on when they clash again?